Bantam AA versus International Falls at the Battle for the Axe tournament here in Brainerd. 17-minute periods. Start of the first here. We have Henson Leary books out with Potvin and off on D. Henson on the face-off, wins it over Leary. Poked away, centering pass. Books, spins and shoots, goes high and wide. Leary in the right wing corner, sends it behind the net, up the wall. Potvin keeps it in. Henson here battling with Potvin. Potvin gets knocked down. Puck's up to the point. Books keeps it in and on goal. Was covered by the goalie for a whistle. Norris on the face-off to Gaken. Gaken through the slot. Out to the point. Kept in. Velasco shot wide. Hook up the far wall and high falls, skates it out down into the Brainerd zone. Up deep in the Brainerd zone. Pops up into the bench for a whistle. Norris on the face-off. Shot on goal right off the face-off for high goals. Picked up by Velasco behind the net, up the near wall, and down the middle we have Norris charging the net. He's picked up by Falls, sent out to neutral zone. Reed with it. Back to Norris, he sends it down deep in the Falls zone as the line goes off for a line change. Featherson tying him up down low. Up to Henson. Henson tries to center it, intercepted by Falls. Featherson. Roush sends it through the slot. Potvin. Henson spins away from a defender. Left wing circle. Shot on goal. Loose puck out front. And the goalie covers it just in time for a whistle. Henson, Featherson, Roush are the forwards. Now we have Hoff and Potvin back on D. Puck on the far wall. Featherson tying it up. High falls, gets it out to the point. Kept in by Hoff. It rings around to the near side. Henson tying it up on the wall. Henson with it. Backhands it down deep in the high fall zone. They chase after it. Leary with a nice poke check steals the puck away. Leary on the wall. Dumps it in deep behind the Falls net. Roush in after it. Oh, Books is out now. Books and Hoff tying it up on the far wall. Falls gets it out into the neutral zone. They charge in the Brainerd zone on the right side. Tied up on the wall by Potvin. Now loose puck dumped in deep. Off with it. The Brainerd zone. He fans on it. Falls picks it up. Puck batted back and forth. Pops out to Leary. Right wing position. Skates out into the neutral zone. Dumps it in the Falls zone. Books. Hooked off his tuck. Puck ends up all the way down ice. Waved off the icing. Puck in the Brainerd zone. Forecheck by Reed. Or back check, sorry, by Reed. Velasco behind the net to Reed. Reed out to Bloom. Bloom sends it out to neutral zone for Norris. Norris backhands it in deep into the high falls zone. Check from Bloom. And Gakin down low. Puck all the way back down ice for an icing on International Falls. Gakin Bloom. Bloom comes away with a puck at the face-off. It's rubbed off the puck behind the net. High falls, clears it out to the neutral zone. Hoff back. Puck against the wall in the neutral zone. Gakin steals it away, sends it into the high falls zone, but they chip it back out. Bloom back to Potvin. Slapped off his stick and deep into the Brainerd zone. Potvin up the wall to Henson. Henson through the neutral zone. Pass over to Bloom. Bloom shot on goal. Swept away by the goalie. High falls. Clears it all the way down ice again for an icing. Sorry, I'll try and keep up with the zooming in and out here, but it's kind of a crappy angle down low here on the ice. Norris is out now. Norris on the face-off. From the high fall zone back to Glasgow. Glasgow skates it in. Right up in the corner. Pops out to Featherston. Featherston sends it back. Up in the corner now. High fall sends it behind their net to the far side. Roush with a check. High fall sends it back behind the net. Comes out to Featherston on the left wing side. He skates towards the net. And it's poked off his stick just in time. Glasgow shot on goal from the blue line. Puck tied up on the left wing boards in the International Falls zone. Poked down low. High falls with it. Up along the boards and skated out. That was offsides on Brainerd as High Falls tried to clear it out, and Leary kicked it in with a man still inside zone. Face off just outside High Falls zone. They send it all the way down ice. Potvin blows a tire. Out to Books. Books to Leary. Leary through the neutral zone. Up the left wing side. Send a pass. Poked away. High Falls tips it back out. Down ice. Chased down by Potvin. Potvin up the Books on the left wing side. Books to Leary. Bounces off his stick. High Falls sends it back the other way. Up out the neutral zone again. It's cleared out by Brainerd. High Falls trying to set up something. Over the right wing, bounces off his stick into the Brainerd zone, picked up by Hoff. Hoff over to Glasgow. Glasgow carries that out across the blue line. It's picked up, and High Falls with the puck. And I think that's an offside, intentional offside maybe. High Falls. Yeah, center ice face off for that. We have 10:18 left in the first period, no score. Brainerd Bantam AA versus International Falls at the Battle for the X tournament here in Brainerd. Norris on the face-off, he wins it back to Glasgow. Glasgow skates it into the High Falls zone on the left wing side. Get in there. Out to Norris. Norris spins, backhand goes wide. Out to Velasco at the point. He steps up into the slot. Tries to chip it up high and goes up over the net. Gakin from the high slot. Stick save. And it's Pops back out to Velasco at the left D position. Sends it up along the wall to Blooms. Intercepted by International Falls, and they're able to skate it out down ice. The end of the Brainerd zone on left wing side. Shot on goal from high circle is saved by Rogan David for a whistle. Ensign Featherston Roush with Hoff and let's see who the other D is down there. Potvin. Over to Roush. Roush skates it out of the Brainerd zone. Chips it down deep into the eyeball zone. Picked up by Featherston down low. And Ensign there with behind the net. They send it out to the point. Potvin sends it back. Featherston sends it behind the net. Nobody there. Henson goes in after it. Falls pulls it out down ice. That's going to be an icing on International Falls. 8:58 left in the first period. Face up in the Eyefalls zone. Hoff shot on goal, covered by Eyefalls goalie. I think I fixed the focus there. The camera keeps focusing on the smudges on the glass here. Henson on the face-off. Featherston and Roush on wing. Henson over to Featherston. Featherston picks up the puck, tries to spin towards the net. Gets tied up on the wall. Henson chases after behind the net. Loose puck behind the net, chipped out by Falls. Potvin keeps it in. Everly puck is sent out to neutral zone. Hoff picks it up, heads towards the eyeball zone. He chips it in deep, while the rest of the line goes off for a line change. Loose puck chipped back deep into the eyeball zone. Leary. Norris tying it up down low, pops out to the slot, swept away by Eyefalls player, then shoots it down ice into the Brainerd zone. Velasco back for it, that's an icing. Norris on the face-off. Out to Reed, pokes it in. Books on the wall. Books tries to get it to Norris, but intercepted. And loose puck popped out to neutral zone by International Falls. Velasco off the wall for Leary. Leary backhands it. Featherston or Norris with the forecheck. Kept in by Books. Sent down behind the net. Falls tries to send it along the right wing wall, but kept in by Reed. Reed to Norris out front. And poked off his stick before he can get a shot off. Velasco steps up the middle. Velasco shot on goal, covered for a whistle. 7:18 left in the first period. Face-off, gauging the Bloom off the Bloom tied up on the wall. Falls sends it all the way down ice. That's going to be another icing. Norris on the face-off just outside the I-fall zone. Gakin and Bloom there with him. Dumped in deep by Gakin. Bloom on the far wall, it's taken away from him, and I-falls heads down towards the Brainerd zone. Poked off the puck. Kept in by I-falls. Puck tied up on the left wing wall. Norris and Bloom there battling for it. Velasco gets a stick on it and sent down to the neutral zone by Reed, who's off the line change. I-falls sends it back in deep. Featherson charging out of zone. Puck comes off his stick and picked up by I-falls on the red line. They head back in on the left side of the Brainerd zone. Cut towards the crease. Saved by David. Blasco poking at the puck. Blasco up the middle. Got 3 men on him. He's tripped up. Puck behind the I-falls net. Roush puts it up in the far corner. And there's a penalty coming on International Falls for tripping on Velasco. Brainerd on the power play for 2 minutes. Henson on the face-off. Puck down low, picked up by Roush in the corner, sent back to Featherson. Henson down low. Featherson circling zone. Cuts towards backhand out to Velasco. Velasco steps up and his shot is tipped up into the netting for a whistle. Henson on the face-off, moves it to Featherson. Featherson back to Velasco, back to Featherson. Featherson, shot from high slot, saved by the I-falls goalie. Henson on the face-off, out to Velasco. Velasco over Reed. Reed centers it to Featherson with a nice shot on goal. Roush backhands it to Henson behind the net. Henson, the right wing corner, up the wall to Featherson. Featherson. Velasco off the crossbar. The rebound bounces out to Reed. Over to Velasco again. Velasco sends it to Roush, but the pass is missed and I-falls manages to clear it out. Velasco skating it out of the Brainerd zone. Henson trailing with Leary. Velasco sends it in deep. Leary after it, down low. Henson. Out to Leary on the left wing circle. Leary over to Potvin. Potvin with a nice look, shot on goal, looking for the 5-hole. And another shot pops up into the netting for a whistle. Norris on the face-off, right wing circle, I-falls zone. I-falls sends it all the way down ice. And it's retrieved by Hoff. No icing. Hoff. Up to Norris in the neutral zone. Norris drops it to Bloom. Bloom comes in. Drop pass to Leary. Gets a nice shot off, but saved by I-falls. And I-falls sweeps it all the way down ice again. It's going to be an icing this time. It with a power play for Brainerd. High falls, clears it all the way down ice again. Off down low in the Brainerd zone, off the wall to Leary. Leary chips it to center ice. High falls there to send it back into zone. Picked up now by Hoff. Skates it into the high fall zone. Cuts towards the center. Hoff has a nice look. Oh man. Saved by Falls goalie. 3:21 left in the first period. On the face-off, wins it over to Featherston. Featherston tries to get it to Reed. It's intercepted. High Falls heads down ice. Reed back to defend. High Falls player did get a shot off on goal, but saved by David. Hanson on the face-off. High falls, shot goes wide. Featherston chips it up off the wall, but pops out. Reed to Roush, bounces off his stick into the high fall zone, and they chip it out. His puck in the neutral zone, picked up by Henson. He sends it down deep as they go off for a line change. Bloom down low to pressure. Picked up by Norris. He gets it in deep in the high fall zone. Aiken there to help him. Norris out front to Potvin. Shot on goal. Rebound chipped in by Aiken. Brainerd on the board. 2:31 left in the first period. Norris on the face-off center ice. Aiken knocked down. High falls, pokes it into the Brainerd zone. Sent back out by Hoff. Here comes Bloom down ice on the right wing side. Flex towards the center. Tries to center it. Aiken is tied up. Norris behind the net, fighting for the puck. Aiken comes away with it. Aiken, right wing wall, shot on goal, bounces out to the left wing circle. High falls, sends it down ice. Hoff chases back after it. No icing. Hoff gets it out of the Brainerd zone. Hoff still with the puck. Nice move by Hoff. Dumps it in deep. Aiken on the wall, tying it up along with Brooks. Henson pokes it to Bloom. Bloom gets a shot on goal. Check from Brooks. There's puck on the far wall, right wing side. Leary keeps it in. Leary backhands it blindly, and it's intercepted by High Falls. They head down ice. Blasco's back to defend. Blasco steals it away before they get a shot off. Sends it behind the net. Reed to Henson. Henson up the middle through the neutral zone. Over to Leary. He gets tied up. He's pucked near the corner. Leary picks it back up. He's knocked down. High falls, sends it up the wall, and gets it out to center ice. Blasco picks up that loose puck, picks up the middle, shot on goal. It's a stick of the High Falls goalie and pops out. High Falls down low with the puck in their own zone now. Leary with the forward check. High Falls clears it out to neutral zone. Into the Brainerd zone. There's puck chipped back out to neutral zone by Velasco. And it's a whistle for a penalty on International Falls for interference. Missed that. Brainerd back on the power play for 31.5 seconds left in the first period. Norris on the face-off over to Leary. Leary gets tied up in the circle and high falls, sends it all the way down ice. Off races back after it. No icing. Off to Norris, he skates it into the high falls zone. Looks to set something up, sends it across the zone to Potvin. Potvin up high to Off over to Leary, left hand side. Leary sends it right out front to Norris. He poked off his stick, and that's the buzzer end of the first period. There's a brief intermission here between the first and second period, and then the old Zamboni between second and third period. Start of the second period, Henson on center, Roush and Featherston on wing, Velasco and Reed on D. Velasco off the face-off, skates it into the I-fall zone, circles behind the net. Velasco still circling. Brainerd still on the power play. Pass over to Henson at the left wing side. He fans on it. Roush picks up the loose puck. Back out to Velasco. Velasco steps away from a defender. Shot from high right wing circle, goes wide. His puck rolls around the boards to Reed on the left D side. Sends it down low to Henson. Back out to Reed. Reed skates up over to the center, over to Featherston. Featherston to Velasco. Back to Featherston. Featherston fans on a pass and high falls, pokes it out. Reed back to defend as they enter the Brainerd zone on the right wing side. Cut off by Reed. Reed to Henson. Henson to Featherston. Featherston charges into the I-fall zone. Poked off his stick. He retrieves the loose puck. Backhand to Henson at the left right wing circle and pops out to Velasco. Velasco sends it back in deep. Henson in after it. Check from Henson. And I-fall sends it up the left wing boards. Where it's kept in by Reed. Reed looking to set up something over to Velasco. Velasco slap shot wide. Goes around the boards and just across the blue line, so Brainerd has to reset. Velasco dumps it in deep on goal. Goal drops a puck. I-falls player sends it out to the red line. It's intercepted by Leary, who dumps it back in deep. Norris in the left wing corner sends it up the wall to Potvin. Potvin chips it towards the net. Loose puck. Leary trying to get something on it. Pops all swept all the way out by International Falls. Brainerd has to come back and retrieve it. Off, down low with the puck. Both teams back to full strength. Up to Leary in the neutral zone. Leary in on the right side. Spins as he crosses the blue line. Sent across zone, but pops just across the blue line. Brainerd has to reset. Back over to Leary. Norris. Leary. Out to the point. Potvin. His shot goes just wide. Oops, sorry, let me zoom in. And I falls, heads down to the Brainerd zone. Shot through the slot. Picked up off the wall by Norris. Backhands it down deep. No icing. Norris with a check. What? Wasn't going to call a penalty on Norris, though. Pretty clean to me. Kid was on the puck. What are they going to call this? Okay. Well, the penalty is checking. Brainerd on the penalty kill. Bloom on the face-off. Puck out high. Slap shot from the high slot. Top of the house. Hits the crossbar and goes in. So tie game. Center face-off, wins it back to Velasco, sends it over to Reed. Reed tries to chip it off the wall in the neutral zone to Roush, but it's intercepted and tied up by International Falls. Featherston into the I Falls zone, charges in and gets a nice shot from the right wing circle that goes in. Brainerd back up 2-1. On the center face-off, wins to Reed. Reed over to Velasco, back to Henson up the center. Henson up the middle of the zone, cuts to the right, knocked down off the puck. Puck ends up in the corner. Featherston sends it across the other way. Henson pokes at it in the corner. Reed with it, down behind the net. Out to Henson, pops over his stick, and I falls, manages to clear it out. Velasco's back to defend. Velasco ties him up, not able to get a shot off. Great D by Velasco. Reed down low, along with Henson. Puck pops over to the left wing corner. Leary tries to send it out to the D. Hits the referee. Henson sends it back the other way to Velasco behind the net. To Reed, up the far wall to Roush, who sends it all the way down ice. Now that's going to be an icing on Brainerd. Norris on the face-off in the Brainerd zone. Face-off's a draw. Pops out to the right D. I falls, shot on goal. David saw that coming. Covers it up for a whistle. Norris on the face-off again in the Brainerd zone. Draw. Whacking at it in the right wing circle, pops out to Norris. Norris sends it up the wall to Leary, who chips it down ice. Pokes and Leary down with a forecheck. High falls, trying to clear it out. Norris with a poke check. Comes comes out to neutral zone for Hoff. Hoff sends it over to Norris. Norris skates it into the high fall zone, takes a shot, it's deflected up high and wide. Out in neutral zone, Poppin sends it back in deep. Norris chases after it. High falls, skates it out into the neutral zone, poked off their stick just as they come out by Bloom, and sent back in by Gaken. Bloom with a forecheck. Sent back out to neutral zone. Glasgow sends it across the zone over to Bloom, who's just offsides. Face-off, neutral zone. Puck chipped down deep in the Brainerd zone. Reed after it. Flies it up behind the net. Hinson comes in, sweeps it over to Gaken, sends it back the other way for Velasco. Velasco picks it up, chips it out into the neutral zone. Hinson and Gaken go after it. Gaken, shot from high, left wing circle, ends up behind the net. Puck picked up by high falls, and they try to clear it out. It's poked back in by Bloom, I think it was. Glasgow sends the puck back to Roush. Henson picked up his stick as he enters the high fall zone, back up to neutral zone. Glasgow in on the right side. Glasgow. Sorry, I keep forgetting to zoom in so you guys can actually see. On the face-off, right wing circle, high fall zone. Tied up on the wall by Featherston, but high falls, comes away with it, charges into the Brainerd zone, poke check by Hoff, gets the puck back, sends it out to neutral for Featherston. Featherston up the middle. Shot on goal is saved by the high falls goalie for a whistle. On the face-off to Featherston. Featherston gets a shot on goal. Scooped up by the goalie for a whistle. Norris needs a face-off out to the point. Potvin gets tied up, has to chip it forward, but ends up back out in the neutral zone. Off. Dumps it in deep. Featherston in after it, along with Norris. Featherston still battling for the puck down low. High Fall sends it up along the boards and manages to clear it out. High Falls charges into the Brainerd zone. Oh! 2-on-1 there. They managed to just poke it in the 5-hole. David not able to get that covered. Henson on the center face-off. Moves the face-off over to the right wing side, but high falls. Sends it in deep to the Brainerd zone. Sent back out by Reed. It ends up in the bench for a whistle. 9:39 left in the second. Tie game, 2-2. Face-off will come back into the Brainerd zone as we sent it into the bench. Henson on the face-off. Books and Leary on wing. Velasco and Reed on D. Henson moves it back to Reed. Reed off the wall, up by Falls, get along the wall deeper, and it pops up into the netting for another whistle. Henson again on the face-off, wins it out to the neutral zone. Pressure from Books. High Falls manages to get it down into the Brainerd zone on net, but it's covered by David for a whistle as it trickles down. Off to Reed. Reed sends it behind the Brainerd net for Glasgow. Glasgow tips it up to Leary. Sends it to Henson. Henson over to Books. Books shot on goal. Rebound bounces out to the high slot. And High Falls sweeps it deeper into their zone. Up down low. Henson forecheck. Up to Reed on the boards where he gets tied up. Leary and Reed battling for it. Henson gets a stick on it. Henson cuts towards the middle. Shot by Henson. Goes just wide. Leary tries to backhand it out to Henson, but it hits the net. High Falls that manages to clear it out. Reed is back. Leary races back to help. Shot on goal, covered by David for a whistle. On the face-off, out to the D. Bloom steals it away. Bloom charges down ice, centering pass to Norris, who scores. What a beautiful play there. Bloom entered the zone on the right wing side, center pass to the high slot, and Norris just buries it. Brainerd up 3-2. Center face-off. Puck out in the neutral zone. Potvin sends it along the boards. Battle on the boards. Gakin manages to chip it in across the blue line as Norris chases in and after it. Norris down low in the corner. Centering pass. Sends it out to Hoff at the right D slot. Hoff shot on goal. Pad save. And back in the corner for Norris. Norris and Bloom battling in the left wing corner of the High Falls zone. Pops out to Potvin at the point. Potvin steps forward, shot, rebound, it's out. High Falls sweeps it to the right wing boards. High Falls sent it behind their net to the other side, kept in by Potvin. Looked like it must have popped up. The bench or something? I don't know, whistle there. Henson on the face-off in the High Falls zone. High Falls clears it out and heads towards the Brainerd zone, up the middle. Puck stolen away by Glasgow, chips it off the boards and just across the blue line. Henson hoping for it, but ends up just across the blue line. Looks like Brainerd was just offside, so Glasgow in on the right side, pass to Featherson, not able to control Henson in right wing circle, pad save by High Falls goalie. Pops over to the left wing side. Roush, or is that? Yeah, that's Roush, tied up in the corner. Featherson there to help him. Henson waiting. Featherston gets it, gets a shot off, pops back across the goal line. Forecheck by Featherston knocks down the high falls player. Featherston still battling for it. It's taken away from him by Falls, and able to change the pace here a little bit. High Falls trips it out to center ice. Blasco there. Blasco sends it off the boards deeper into the high falls zone. Leary races in and after it. Leary and Books down low. Books comes away with it. Out to Norris, poked off his stick. Shot from Potvin. Puck pops up and behind the net. Norris with a forecheck. Puck pops out again. Bouncing puck. So Potvin got something on it, but it went wide. And Norris tied up on the wall deep in the high fall zone. Leary there to help him. Norris sends it down low to Leary behind the net. Backhand pass out front by Leary. Swept away by Falls. They send it all the way deep into the Brainerd zone for an ice. Face off in the high fall zone, kept in by Potvin at the point. Potvin sends it in deeper. Norris. Back to Potvin. Potvin slap shot from the point, goes wide. Hoff has to race to keep it in. Hoff skates it in down low. Circling. Tries to get a pass off to Leary. Loose puck. Pops out. High falls. Clears it out to neutral zone and down ice. Hoff races back after it. Out to Leary. Leary. Over to Norris. Norris. Puck down and loose. Out front. Norris trying to get a stick on it. It's poked away. High falls. And Bloom after it. Sends it on the wall. Up to Gakin. Gakin back to Bloom down low. Out to Reed at the left D position. Over to puck pops out to center ice. High falls trying to get a stick on it, but it's swept away. And Blasco, Bloom in on the left wing side, up towards the center, backhands it to Henson. It's poked away before Henson can get a stick on it. Henson on the wall. High falls comes away with it into the neutral zone. And they try to enter the zone, but it's intercepted by Henson. Reed to Velasco down low. Blasco sends it through the neutral zone, bounces over everybody's stick. High falls, trips it back out. High falls on the right wing circle, out to their left D position. Their left D skates it in to the Brainerd zone. Angled wide by Blasco, not able to do anything with it. Comes up along the board, shot from the left wing circle, goes off the post, right side of the net. Loose puck. Right wing circle, high falls. Reed after it. Henson and Roush looking for it. Nobody can get control of the puck. Reed sends it behind the Brainerd net. It's picked up by Velasco. Velasco chips it high out into the neutral zone. It's batted down by an high falls player. It's carried down into the high falls zone by Featherston, but it's swept off his stick. Velasco chase after it, sends it back the other way. At the blue line, chipped in deep by Featherston. Norris chases after it in the left corner. Roush pokes it to Norris. Norris, backhand pass out front. Hoff, in the right wing circle, ends up on the goalie's stick. It's covered for a whistle. Face off in the high falls zone. Managed to clear it out. Charge in on the Brainerd zone on the right side. Off. High falls. He scored. Rogan David was Center face-off. High Falls sends it all the way deep for an icing. There's 2:40 left in the second period. Norris on the face-off. Over to Leary. Left wall. It's knocked down. Up down low. Hooks. And High Falls clears it out to neutral zone. They still have the puck to skate in on the left side. Angled wide by Velasco. Checked by Norris. Knocks the player completely off the puck. Out to center ice. Norris chips it in deep. Some of the players go off for a line change. Reed down low. High Falls skates it out. Cherry picker up high here. Puck bounces over his stick and down deep in the Brainerd zone. Out to the right wing circle. Saved by David. Pops up high. Another shot. Hits traffic. And Reed pulls it out across the blue line. High Falls back the other way. And on the left wing side, dodges Velasco. Puck saved by David and bounces off his stick. And his puck picked up by Reed, who sends it off the boards and down into the neutral zone. High Falls with it. Off the boards. And puck in the Brainerd zone. Henson picks it up. Velasco swings at it, fans, and then sends it up high and hits the rafters for a whistle. Zone wins the face-off. Potvin up the left wing side to Roush. Off his stick, Featherston. In on the left side, Featherston. Shot goes wide. Rebound comes out to Hoff and sends it in deep. Henson in the left corner. Puck. This puck comes out. High Falls ties it up. Tied up by Hoff there. He takes down the player. Poking at Featherston after the play. Actually grabbed Featherston's mask for a second there. His players are chirping a little. Looks like Featherston and the High Falls player going to the penalty box for that. Both teams should remain 5 players each. Norris on the face-off. That's the end of the second. second period. There'll be about a 15-minute intermission here as Zamboni comes out, cleans the ice up. Start of the third period. Brainerd versus International Falls at the Battle for the Axe here in Brainerd. Tie game so far, 3-3. High Falls in the Brainerd zone, shot from the left D, high and wide, kept in by High Falls. Hooks. Leary into the neutral zone. And dumps it in deep as Brainerd goes off for a line change. High Falls skates it out into the neutral zone, cut off by Norris. Hoff picks up that loose puck. Puts it over the wall. Norris again, or Hoff with it, in on the right wing side. Norris, nice shot. Rebound, tipped by Bloom, just bounces over the net. Kept in deep by Norris. Roush pressuring on the wall. Puck up to the point. Shot on goal by Hoff for a whistle. Face off in the High Falls zone. Henson spins, fans, High Falls, chips it out. Gets a stick on it. Roush with a forecheck in the neutral zone. Roush up the middle, spins towards the net. Roush with a nice look here. Nice play. Roush cuts towards the crease and able to backhand it around the goalie. So Brainerd up 4-3 with a nice goal by Riley Roush. Off center ice, Norris to Gakin. Gakin skates in, dumps it on net. Goalie holds it for a whistle. Norris on the face-off, across the goal line. High Falls clears it out. Pass sent back into the High Falls zone. Bloom ties it up on the wall. Gakin there to help him. Norris waiting out front. It's intercepted and High Falls tries to clear it out. Blasco comes it in. Blasco on net. Pad save. Gakin and Bloom tying it up in the corner. And it's kept in. Gakin on the corner. Behind the net, and trapped by the goalie for a whistle. Get on the face-off over to Leary, intercepted, knocked out by Falls to center ice. Potvin picks it up and skates it back in. Sends it over to the, tries to send it over to the far corner, but the goalie grabbed it with his glove for a whistle. On the face-off, Potvin shot hits traffic. Leary shot save. Leary tying it up in the corner with Henson. Dig it out. My fault. Sends it to the far side, kept in, and bounces out. They try to charge down ice, but puck picked up by Potvin, carries it in. Potvin down, and puck out into the neutral zone, picked up by Featherson. Featherson spins off of a High Falls player, tries to get it across the blue line. It's kept in. Potvin picks up the loose puck on the wall and chips it all the way down ice. It's going to be an icing on Brainerd. Norris on the face-off in the Brainerd zone. Puck pops out into the neutral zone, and High Falls has to chase it down. Off the boards, picked up by Featherson, and gets in the zone and dumps it in deep. Norris with it down low. Checked off the puck. High Falls has to clear it out. The neutral zone. Pass through the slot. Nobody able to get a stick on it. Brainerd back out into the neutral zone. Norris chases after it. High Falls comes into the middle. The shot goes wide from the blue line. Glasgow with it down low. Pushes it up to Bloom is kicked down. Reed stick it towards the net. Bloom backhand, puck on goal, and the goalie covers it for a whistle. Face-off in the National Falls zone. Get behind the net by Geekin. Henson goes after it on the far side. High Falls able to clear it out. Picked up by Potvin at the neutral zone. Sends it along the wall, but High Falls picks it up. Gets it on the left wing side of the Brainerd zone. And down deep. It's angled wide. Centering pass, intercepted by Leary. That's Bloom. Henson, forecheck down low. High Falls, they just clear it out again in the neutral zone. I don't know if it was offsides or if it hit something on the bench. They're going to do a center face-off. On the face-off, wins it back to Glasgow, sends it over to Lee. Glasgow down low, up around the wall, hooked into the neutral zone by Norris. Leary chases after it. into the eyeball zone. Eyeball gets it out to the point. Kept in by Brooks. Has it on the wall. Larry in there to help him. Eyeballs comes away with it. Skate it on their own net. They send it to the far side. It bounces over Lee's stick and all the way down ice. That's going to be an icing on Eyeballs. Eyeball zone, Henson down low. Got into the puck. Jackson there to help him. Featherston with a check. Eyeball is able to clear it out, head down ice. Cut in on the right side, but hope check by Reed. Loosens the puck up. Featherston back the other way. Featherston left towards the net. Gets it on net. And it's covered for a whistle. A lot of talk between the players. Henson, the face-off, Eyeballs, clears it out, off in the neutral zone. Skates it in on the right side. Off, centering pass, missed by Roush. Ends up in the corner. Henson after it. Kept in by Featherston. Featherston to Henson. Back to Featherston. Loose puck bounces a couple times off the goalie and rebound eventually sent down ice by International Falls. No icing. Got Ben Wingren in goal now. Period. Checked by Gaken. High Falls with it down low. Gaken steals it away. Centering pass goes off the side of the net. Norris. Oh, just over the net. Norris picks up that pass. Norris knocks down one of the High Falls players. Steals the puck. Centering pass by Norris. Puck bouncing out in the high slot. Norris with it now. Sends it behind the net. Ends up in the netting for a whistle. Norris on the face-off. High Falls skates it out of the Brainerd zone and they head down ice. Picked up by Reed, who sends it back the other way. Leary with a room with a forecheck. High Falls enjoying the puck. Try to enter the Brainerd zone on the right side and it's poked away again. That time by Potvin. Bloom with the puck. High Falls zone, pulls off his stick before he can get a shot off. High Falls back out the other way. Checked down at the blue line by Lee as they try to enter the Brainerd zone. Lee's puck ends up down low. Tying it up along with Lee. Brainerd comes away with it. Out to the neutral zone. To Books. Sends it in deep. As Brainerd players go off for a line change. High Falls with the puck. Skated on out. Over their right wing at the red line. Glasgow sends it back to the neutral zone. Leary in on the left wing side. His pass hits a skate. Henson ties it up on the wall, keeps it in. And it's chipped out for Roush. Velasco sends it in deep. Leary in after it. Along with Roush sends it behind the net. Leary tries to center it to Henson. It hits the side of the net. Covered by the goalie for a whistle. it on the face-off to Featherston. Featherston gets a shot off. And goes wide. Roush picks up the loose puck. Down to Featherston down low. Featherston. To Roush on the wall. Roush. And I falls. Gets it all the way down ice. That's going to be another icing. It on the face-off. Grabs the puck down low. It bounces towards the wall in the high fall zone. Roush in the far corner now with it. Time it up. Henson there with it. Henson with the puck behind the net looking for somebody. Circling the zone. Down low for Featherston. Featherston tries to send it out to the point. It's intercepted. High falls heads down into the Brainerd zone on the left wing side. They're forced wide and into the corner. Knocked off the puck by Featherston. Puck out across the blue line now. And they're calling a penalty. Chirping. High Falls player didn't like that check from Featherston. And he just won himself a visit to the penalty box. So coincidental penalties there. Featherston and International Falls. I didn't see the call. But both teams will remain at full strength. Face off in the Brainerd zone. Bloom comes away with it, gets it out to neutral zone, chips it forward. Aiken trying to get a stick on it, but High Falls sends it back out. Reed heads towards the net. Was just wide. Norris sends it behind the net to the right hand side. Bloom and Gaither over there. High Falls sends it back the other way. Pops out. Reed has to chase after the High Falls player, breaking down ice. Saved by Van Wonderen and covered for the whistle. Off in the Brainerd zone. Brainerd wins it. Skated out by Tate Brooks. He gets a shot on goal. Brooks and Henson battling down low. Brooks checked out the puck.
Come on.
Leary gets a stick on it. Shot from the right wing circle. Rebound pops out and into the corner. Leary sends it back behind the net. Henson after it, sends it back the other way. Leary behind the net again. Henson chases down the High Falls player, ties it up. Puck comes out along the wall and it's skated out by High Falls to the neutral zone. They're cut off entering the Brainerd zone. They have to dump it behind the net. Shot from the left wing circle. It's blocked by Leary and it ends up all the way down ice. High Falls has to come back. Brainerd goes off for a line change. High Falls in neutral zone. Roush picks up the puck. Chips it into the High Falls zone. Bloom then after it along with Norris. Norris puts it forward where he picks it up on the wall. Sends it across the zone over to Hoff at the point. Hoff backhands it towards the slot. Roush unable to get a stick on it. High Falls skates it on out of the zone. Poked off the stick at the red line. Another whistle. I'm not sure what they're calling that for. But too many men on the ice or what? Looks like International Falls got a penalty for too many men on the ice. So Brainerd on the power play. Brainerd controlling the puck in the International Falls zone. Bloom down low, up to Leary. Leary up high. Shot, bounces off the goalie and up into the rafters for a whistle. On the face-off, Bloom kicks it out to Hoff, who skates up towards the slot. Hoff tries to center it to Bloom, goes swept wide by the goalie. Hoff circling the zone after he picks up that rebound. Out to Lee. Lee not able to keep it in. The Brainerd has to reset. Lee. Norris centers it to Leary. Drop passes to Bloom. Bloom hooked off his stick. Leary gets a loose puck. Ooh, almost gets it in the 5-hole. It bounces off the pads and behind the net. Blooms up to the right side to Hoff. Hoff centered across the zone to Leary. Slap shot hits the glass and bounces all the way out to neutral zone. Brainerd has to reset again. Leary off his skate into the zone. Leary keeps it in as Falls tries to clear it out. Leary patiently setting up, only a shot by Leary up front. Bounces out to Lee. Lee, his shot hits traffic and ends up in the corner. Bloom backhands it to Leary. It's intercepted and Falls heads the other way. Into the Brainerd zone on the right wing side. Shot's deflected over the net. Brainerd skates it out. Dumps it in. The rest of the team can go for a line change. Henson at the wall, drops it to Velasco. Velasco steps in. Shot goes wide. At the blue line by Lee. Henson. Featherston picks up the loose puck. His shot deflected up over the net. Roush picks it up on the wall, and Brainerd penalty coming up on Roush, I guess. We had 3 seconds left in our power play. Now Roush going to the box. No signal from the ref. I don't know what that was for. Jeez. Henson on the face-off in the Brainerd zone, wins it to Potman. Potman skates it up the side, chips it down forward for Leary, but it bounces up high and deep into the zone for an icing. Leary wasn't able to get a stick on it. Face off in the Brainerd zone. 2:56 left in the game. Brainerd on the penalty kill. Out to their right D. Steps towards the center. Shot on goal, covered by Van Moiningren for a whistle. Face-off in the Brainerd zone. Bloom wins the face-off and sends it down ice again. It's going to be another icing on Brainerd. Face-off in the Brainerd zone. Brainerd wins it again, sends it down through the neutral zone. Pressure from Bloom. They manage to get around him and into the Brainerd zone. They lose the puck. Gakin slaps it out to the neutral zone again. Brainerd looking to just kill this penalty off safely. High Falls angled wide by Potvin as they enter the zone. centering pass, but nobody there. Zone's well defended. Hotman sends it out to the blue line. They keep it in. Their shot goes about 3 feet over the net and into the corner. Aiken, Velasco chips it across the blue line, and Velasco heads down ice. Not able to control the puck. It's High Falls, heads back the other way. Try to come up the middle, but no room to move, and they dump it in the corner. Puck out to their right D, over to the left wing side. Bouncing puck. Nothing on it. Looks puck sent out to the point. Reed. High Falls pulls their goalie. 6-on-4 now. Shot on goal from the right D position. Covered for a whistle by Aaron Ben Weinberg. Norris on the face-off. Puck all the way down ice. It rolls down across the goal line. And High Falls still with an empty net. There's 1:07 left in the game. Brainerd on the penalty kill for 2 more seconds. Face-off back in the Brainerd zone. Norris swings it to the wall, but High Falls gets a stick on it. Both teams at full strength. Leary comes out of the box, and puck just happened to be on his stick, and he stuffs it in the open net from the red line. So Brainerd up 5-3 with 59 seconds left in the game. Center face-off. Glasgow back to the neutral zone. Up to Norris. Norris heads in. Norris still with the puck. Poked off his stick just before he cuts to the center. With it, puck down behind the net. Roush battling for it. High Falls sends it along the wall and skated on out. Into the Brainerd zone on the right side. Drop it across through the slot. Nobody there. It goes wide to the left wing side. Puck pops up and down ice. So they had a few players on the bench, so that'll be a whistle. Face off in the Brainerd zone. Henson. Potman swats it on out across the blue line. Book's chasing after it. High falls, sends it back in. Hotman sends it across the other way. Leary tips it forward. And he was just outside the red line, so that's going to be an icing on Brainerd. 7 seconds left. Off, wins it to Reed, sends it behind the net, out to Book, Leary, and that's the buzzer and the game. Brainerd wins it 5-3. First game of the Battle for the Axe tournament here in Brainerd.